Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's episode of Hey Sister. Woo! Hey sister, how you doing?
I'm doing good, sister. Just over here trying. I found the name of it, by the way. So it was. I don't believe that was what it was, what you were saying, but we'll talk about that in a second. I am doing well as we prepare ourselves to discuss our little excursion over there to the España.
Oh, Spania. Well, I'm gonna try to share this. So I ask you all to do the same: like, follow, share, subscribe. Tell folks you're watching. We need to text our regulars, let them know we're on, because we've been taking breaks. If y'all haven't noticed. Yeah,
And
and
there was an issue, it said 8:15. I messed that up.
okay. Well, join the conversation in the comments, and also you can check out our website, heysister.com. So yeah, sister, what listen,
I
and
think we had some few, yeah.
what? The hot topics?
Yeah.
Of course. In typical Hey Sister fashion, we gotta start off with a couple of the hot topics, at least one to two.
Yes.
What you gonna do? Okay. So hot topics this evening. Where shall we begin, sister?
I really immediately I am only thinking of one right now, but
Which one you thinking of?
that,
Duck and cover?
yes.
Oh, okay. Let's talk about the duck and cover. All right. If you don't know what we mean by duck and cover, we are talking about the whole kiss cam situation that broke out at a Coldplay concert. Now, it wasn't supposed to be that. They just supposed to was having their concert, doing their normal thing. They have on their jumbotron, they go around to people in the audience. That happens everywhere. And of course, they would sway into the music and feeling good about themselves, and they saw their faces up on the jumbotron, and then that's when they went to the ducking and covering time. Girl, tell them more about the story.
That's it. I mean, that's
Who
all.
is the people? He's
Who are
resigned.
the people? Okay, it looks like Astronomer, a privately held company based in New York, makes software that helps companies implement workflow management technology, and the work was flowing at the Coldplay concert. You had the let's see, the CEO was Andy Byron. Oh, it looks like he's resigned.
Yep.
And he was embracing a woman on screen, and it was determined that woman was
Not his
the
wife.
not his wife, but the astronomer, human resources chief, Kristen, and I assume it's Cabo, like or Cabo, like Jabot Cosmetics from the Young Resident. Maybe it's Cabot. I don't know how you pronounce Kristen's last name, but I know it's not Byron.
But Kristen, girl. Okay, go ahead on, sis. Let
No,
me help.
so that's it. They were out there at the Coldplay concert. She turned her face and in complete embarrassment. He ducked
Well,
down.
first of all, he dropped like you would have thought like a siren went off or some bullets was shot or something, because he dropped to the ground like he was doing like the stop, drop, and roll situation. Like, was he on fire or something? Okay.
Yeah.
Um, and she want to hide her face, but baby, listen. As their grandmother should have told them, because our grandmother told us, and every other black grandmother told people, if what you do in the dark will surely come to the light, baby. Y'all shouldn't have tried to be out there in the dark at the Coldplay concert and not think it was gonna come to the light.
Well, I've been catching up on two of your favorite shows. I've caught up on The Bear, but that's not the one I was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But I caught up on Shrinking, and I just finished The Studio.
Mm-hmm.
Caught up on The Studio. And there was a scene in Shrinking where Harrison's Ford character, I can't remember his character's name, is telling Alice like see something to the effect of secrets have a hard time of staying secret or something to that effect, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it just made me think of this. Like Chris Martin, obviously the lead singer of Coldplay, saw this interaction and was like, "Oh, well, either they're having an affair or they're really shy people."
Mm-hmm.
I, and then since then there have been just so many jokes that have come out as a
Mm-hmm.
result.
Oh, honey, when the Phillies, the mascots for the Phillies, the baseball team recreated it, hilarious.
They
Like,
recreated it. Something else, I think the another one I saw WNBA or something. Or maybe it was the WNBA. I don't. Was it their All Star game? I don't know. There's another kiss cam went around, and every couple did the same thing. Um, and then of course, I showed you the good old AI generated picture of our dearest mayor of New Orleans and her bodyguard. I'll just leave it at
mm-hmm.
that. So,
He
it's
was
being
guarding the body, I guess, girl.
he is guarding the body. I think he still is guarding the body. I don't think that has changed. But I think my immediate reaction, like pretty much everybody, is like, dude, like we don't know y'all.
Nobody in that arena would have
You
known anything if you just would have stood your ass still.
correct. And it's like you brought so much attention to the situation because y'all would have just hugged, kissed, and the camera would have kept moving.
And
But
it never
because
would have made a story.
and it would have never been a story. And you would have went home and your wife might have been like, "Oh, how was the Coldplay concert?" And you'd have been like, "Oh, the team is doing great. It was a great team building exercise."
Mm-hmm.
Right? But because you did all of that, it that's what brought the attention to the matter.
Mm-hmm.
But I think more than anything, and I could be jaded at this moment, I could be a little bitter right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I think more than anything, my issue is, girl, it's the head of the human resources. And when I think about how these companies are really out here playing in people's faces, folks are out here trying to get jobs, trying to um, sustain their living conditions and have qualifications, and they're being completely ignored because they can't get through the ATS system. That
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's like it just makes you wonder, huh? Well, what came first, the chicken or the egg? Did you
Mm-hmm.
get the job because you were sleeping with the boss, or did you get the the boss because you was on the job? Like what? How did you end up in this role? And then how many people did you possibly, maybe you didn't do it directly, but your team, how many folks possibly turned folks away or didn't hire them for whatever reason while y'all been playing this game with each
Mm-hmm.
other? It's
Well,
so many HR violations.
so many HR violations, but what I do know for sure is that we've been having a lot of conversations in our Sunday school class, folks. So if y'all we do Sunday school on a regular basis because we do believe in the Lord, we do believe in Jesus, and we do believe in the lessons of Jesus. And one thing we know for sure about morality, or having any type of moral, or like what we learn in James today. Listen, y'all need to have a proper attitude, and you need to have a proper mindset and the proper, stop falling into these things. Because if you allow yourself, we always talk about slippery slopes, but see, some of us put ourselves on the slope, and then put the little soapy stuff, and then put the water, and like we slipping and sliding all the time by the choices we make.
Mm-hmm.
So, And I'm not saying that you cannot be in, and I don't know what her situation was. I don't know where
I
they
think
are.
they were both married. I've
I don't
seen
know what the status of their marriages are. I don't know if they're having troubles in their marriages. I don't know. But what I have seen is, and I've been to enough corporate events, you've been to enough corporate events, is I've seen people toe the line.
Mm-hmm.
And it's if you keep toeing the line, one day your toe gonna cross it. So you just don't go up to the line. You
Well,
know?
and again, as Kev on stage so eloquently stated, they were swaying. So the line was crossed a long time. They were swaying. And look, we don't know what people's arrangements are.
We
Now,
don't.
if his wife filed for divorce, it could be like what happened with the folks in New Orleans. Clearly, one person didn't get the memo about the arrangement, right?
Yeah.
So if his wife is filed for divorce already, because I think I read that somewhere, but I don't know. It's so much coming out. I just don't know
Right.
what's
And
true.
we can't suss out fact from fiction sometimes, yes.
Correct. But talking about James, look, we all sin, fall short of the glory. We all have our trials and tribulations. We done our things or what have you. I just maintain that if this your dude, this your girl, whatever, if y'all out there, be out there. But the fact that you did the whole duck and cover, turn and face, oh my gosh, like y'all added so much more to the foolery that needed to be added to it.
Mm-hmm.
So those are my thoughts. Either they're having an affair or they're just very shy, is what Chris Martin said. And little did he know. When he went out on that stage and when they showed up at that concert, little did either one of them know that their life was going to change forever on that day.
Yeah, that's for sure. Well, as we say, life turns on a dime, honey.
It does. We live, we learn, we grow old, we grow up. And
Because he used to be married to Gwyneth Paltrow, that Chris Martin.
yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that's why a game recognizes game. All right. Epstein files or filing. Is it something real? Is it on the desk? Because I have things on my desk. Is it sitting on the desk or is it just filing? And let me tell you something. Um, I get how folks like to remix. I really get how they like to rewrite history, remix what's going on. But I am going to need folks to just take a beat, check the timeline. And if it is folly, if there's nothing there, then why is that woman still in prison? Ghislaine Maxwell. That's number one. Number two, I'm gonna sue the Wall Street Journal for publishing about these letters that I wrote some 20 years ago, because I never do something. Folks, just check the record. Just check the record. Just check the record. And if we're going to put a request in to have these grand jury testimony, whatever. Y'all just go back to Ghislaine Maxwell case. Just go back to her case. Go back and read, the book that some of the one of the survivors wrote. Go back. Go back to the interview with Prince Andrew. I think it's Prince Andrew, right?
Well, that's what I was gonna say. I don't understand how, if there is no, like, if you want to say client list and you want to be very specific,
Yeah.
right? And you expect that there's like a piece of paper, right? and they're like listed, right? If
Right.
that if you want to be that specific, well, yeah, there may not be that, but they literally call Prince Andrew's name out,
Yeah.
like put it out there.
Yeah.
So that didn't
I
just
mean, we got videos. Like
right,
there are videos, there's pictures. There are people who were known associates. Now, whether those known associates committed any crime themselves, we don't know. But what we do know is birds of a feather, you know. Uh,
well,
we know people can't get caught up and might be in the wrong place at the wrong time, and maybe they got their ass out there at right time before the baby oil came out, right? You know,
that's what I was gonna say. This
the
sounds
people
like
who was at the parties they was at the parties but wasn't at the party.
a party,
You see
right?
what I mean? So we understand all of that, but there's enough data. And if you really want, go look at the court filings and proceedings. There's enough information there. All of this performative about what we want and what we want the government to do. And even these people who were put in these positions of leadership and authority who perpetuated this all this time because you actually were hoping it would catch up to someone else.
Right.
Child.
Yeah. Okay. So here's where I'm gonna jump in. So again,
I said a lot and I didn't even talk in a straight line. I'm sorry.
no, but again, I follow them. I am gonna say that I probably again am jaded in this situation. The idea of Donald Trump being in the Epstein files, like that to me is like and water is wet, right? Um, I'm
Of
not
course.
the right. You were friends with the dude. So at very least, if he had a cell phone, I'm sure you were in his contact list. I'm sure he went to your house before. You've been in pictures with him. Y'all been in proximity to each other. So that for me at this point isn't what's most egregious. What's most egregious to me right now is the idea that you're going to sue the Wall Street Journal for $10 billion. And the fact of the matter is, we know that the Wall Street Journal ain't going to pay you $10 billion. But if you throw a rock and you hit a few things, the likelihood, like ABC, like CBS, they might settle. Let's say it's $15 million because $15 million seems to be the magic number. That's $45 million. If they settle, that'll be $45 million in frivolous lawsuits that these different media companies have settled because they don't want to spend the money going to court. And I don't even think it's because they don't know that they're gonna win, but they just don't feel like continuing to have their company's name associated with these things, right? So I think that's what's frustrating to me. It's like this guy is like such a scammer that this has become how he makes money.
But not become.
Well, it's been his
It has been for the last 50 years.
right. And that's what's so
not paying contractors, threatening to sue people, filing frivolous lawsuits, settling
not paying taxes, and telling us we're gonna see the taxes and never see them. We're never gonna see, everything is gonna happen in 2 weeks. Nothing ever happens in 2 weeks. That is what's even more frustrating, because yes, those people who were victims of these crimes, they should be able to have some sort of recourse. Nothing is ever going to make them completely whole, but they should be able to have some kind of recourse. But you just should not get to lie and be compensated for being a liar. We know. And the thing about the Wall Street Journal, which I find very interesting, because I was like, well, who owns the Wall Street Journal? Okay, Dow Company owns the Wall Street Journal. Well, who owns Dow Company? News Corp owns Dow Company. Well, who owns News Corp? Rupert Murdoch. So we get back to Rupert Murdoch, who is, even though he got kicked out of his position at Fox for doing sexual assault or allegations of sexual assault as well,
and harassment,
and
and
harassment,
yes.
and we can find the exact charges so that people know the exact. But this man is still their chairman emeritus, I believe. So it's like, on the one hand, these are the people who keep funneling and peddling your lies across Fox News. But then on the flip side, you're trying to sue the Wall Street Journal. And then for the Murdochs, I'm like, so y'all playing both sides of the fence again, playing the ends against the middle. That's and right. Get money on both sides of the fence.
Bam, there it is.
And that's why we always say follow the money, because it's there. It's so egregious, and it's right in front of our faces. And last but not least, the Wall Street Journal, even with my issues with that, those connections, the Wall Street Journal ain't putting out nothing that they're just guessing. Mm-hmm. So if they said it, they probably already had, like the people always say, if a lawyer is asking you a question about a certain thing, if they're a good lawyer, they already know the answer. Mm-hmm. They already got the evidence. They just want to see if you're gonna lie.
Right.
So it's like, they got the letters. They've got your voice on recordings. We've already seen pictures. Like you said, go back to Maxwell's trial. She would not be in jail, and Jeffrey Epstein wouldn't have gone to jail if it was nothing there. Mm-hmm. And y'all still not going to convince me that man committed suicide. So sorry, you're not.
Child.
Just like after I saw, again, another video, and yes, this probably would give me, I'm not convinced that you were shot in the ear, sir. I'm not.
Well, he still has an ear. That's why we know he wasn't shot in the ear.
He not only does he still have an ear. I look back at the video. They were playing it the other day for something on the news, and I looked again, and I was like, "Oh, the acting wasn't even that great. Why did we not see that right away?"
Well, you know what's interesting, and so I don't know. I know a shot was fired, but what I do know,
the shot was fired and somebody died.
And somebody died, so I know that, and more than one shot was fired, and the person who allegedly or it's fired the shot that killed someone also was killed. But this is what I know about that. The what I do know for sure. During the Diddy trial, the woman with the running over the police officer, her retrial, they have full-on documentaries. They are full-on documentaries about Timothy McVeigh.
The Diddy trial had about 4 of them.
The Diddy trial got them on all kind of platforms, all kind of documentaries and docuseries.
ABC had a series, yes.
True crime. There has been nothing on that young man. Not one docu-series. Who is he? Like, we learn about these people who have done these things. There has been nothing. Like, no riveting deep dive into who he is, who his parents were, their life story, nothing.
Right.
And yet, just a week or so ago, they were talking about how it was the 1-year anniversary of this event. And I was like, and y'all still ain't came out with nothing yet? Those are things that make you go, Right. Because they quick to pull a story together. They quick to build a narrative, build a story, because they want to put a little bow on it and sell that thing.
Yeah. What's the little lady? Hold on. Let me see if I can find her name. Sherry Papini. The one who said that she was kidnapped, abducted by these at gunpoint by two Hispanic women, and she was tortured and branded and all that stuff. They done had news story. They done had her husband's side. They had all the stuff leading up to it.
Mm-hmm.
Then came back with her husband. Now they then came back with her because she wanted to break her silence.
Mm-hmm.
The little girl from out here. What's her name? Rose.
Gypsy Rose.
Gypsy Rose had
a whole Lifetime movie series.
Right.
A Hulu movie series.
All of that.
All of it.
We've learned nothing about it. We know John Wilkes Booth's name.
We still know John Wilkes. I don't even know this little boy's name.
Right. So
I don't even remember his name. I'm looking, trying to find his name right now. Don't even know his name.
No.
You see what I mean? So all of those things are quite curious. A curiosity. We'll tell you more about curiosities, but you all should be more curious. Because if you're curious, you'll ask questions. And when you have questions, in 1 minute, you'll find answers. And when the answers don't add up, or the information you receive doesn't add up, then you go,
Okay, so we might as well make a transition into our trip to Spain.
Okay, we'll make a transition into our trip to Spain. But the last thing I want to say before we move off of hot topics is, y'all, we have to save public broadcasting.
Yes.
Okay, if you grew up watching Sesame Street, if you grew up watching the Electric Company, if you grew up watching Come On and Zoom, Come On and Zoom, Come On and Zoom, we
if you listen to NPR now,
if you listen to NPR now,
if you watch a Ken Burns documentary or Finding Your Roots by Henry Louis Gates,
we have to save public broadcasting.
Public media and
public media and public media. So pbs.org, go to your local PBS station, donate to them. You can donate for the Corporation of Public Broadcasting. We can also go to I think
npr.org
as well. We just dropping them in here. I am a subscriber of PBS already, and their program. Listen, if you want to see some of the best shows on TV, I'm talking about like the dramas. Do that. Get them PBS. Subscribe to PBS. They have some of the best. They all British crime dramas, but I'm telling you, they are the best television out there, and their documentaries are unparalleled. NPR, if you want to learn something,
fresh air,
you want fresh air, you want Through Line, you want 1A, all of the things. We, the people, have to save public broadcasting, because this stunt in this budget process and whatever they're doing in this reconciliation and this cutting, first of all, it is a scratch. Like, it is not even a scratch of the surface of what the bloat of our budget is. Okay, so it ain't saving nothing, because one tragedy, for them to do the cleanup over there in Texas it is more than what this is gonna cost. Okay, so
yeah,
don't fall for, again, curiosity, questions. Don't fall for the okie doke. And then this other thing, and I wanted this last thing to say.
Well, wait, real quick before you transition off of this, I just wanted to say, number one, somebody made a point on Threads that every single artist who has done a Tiny Desk, because Tiny Desk has reinvigorated a lot of careers, or saved some careers. Every artist who has done a Tiny Desk should be investing in NPR for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And if y'all don't know that's where NPR puts on Tiny Desk. But you open NPR and the top story says Trump administration shuts down EPA's scientific research arm. The agency is closing the Office of Research and Development, which analyzes dangers posed by hazards, including toxic chemicals, climate change, smog, wildfires, water pollution, and more. Now, you see, folks keep on hollering like they actually care about the tragedy that happened in Texas. If you think that that is just the beginning, it's not. These things are going to continue to happen because we keep denying, folks want to keep denying climate change. Folks want to keep doing the same stuff they've been doing and expecting a different outcome. They want to not accept funding because it came from the Biden administration. So you're going to put your kids in harm's way, as opposed to putting proper signals and things in place, to warning signals and things like that. This attack, I believe very strongly, is intended to keep us in one of two places: subservient, i.e., only jobs being made available to seemingly very qualified people are those in service industries. They're cutting funding everywhere, and jobs are laying off everywhere. Mm-hmm. So either they want you subservient or they want you dead. Mm-hmm. That's all I see here. Mm-hmm. And a part of that being subservient is all of the cuts to education as well. Mm-hmm. Is to ensure their kids are going to get educated. Your kids may not. So yeah, again, they're talking about PBS through line or NPR through line. This is the through line. This is the through line. All of these attacks on these media outlets that push back against Trump, and now this attack on public media, follow the money and watch the through line.
Well, I am also going to say, and to your point about keeping people killing us, I don't think people realize. So when we talk about Medicaid, I don't think people realize that CHIP, the Children's Health Insurance Program, is a Medicaid program. And that was a legislation that passed, I think CHIP was ushered in under George W. Bush, mm-hmm. to expand Medicaid coverage so that children could have health care, and that they had routine health care, like routine checkups, immunizations, certain routine things will be covered. And that's why those cuts to Medicaid are huge. Mm-hmm. So y'all don't get it twisted out here. Get some information, get some knowledge, but we need to save public broadcasting. So I'm already subscribed to my PBS here locally, and I'm going to renew, and I'm going to do NPR as well, because if we don't, nobody else will. And I grew up going to Sesame Street and Electric Company. So
because you knew about the bill, what is it? How a bill becomes law.
Well, that was on Schoolhouse Rock on ABC on Saturdays. Because Schoolhouse Rock.
Oh, I thought they showed that on PBS too.
No, that was Schoolhouse Rock, girl. ABC used to do some good stuff, because ABC used to have Saturday morning. Used to have them movies of the week, but we ain't even gonna go there, girl.
No, we're not. But we're also museums. Don't forget about the museums.
Yes, absolutely. Okay.
We're about to talk about all kind of historical stuff.
Oh, let's go to España. So we had the privilege and the luxury to go on Xavier University's centennial trip to Spain. My sister joined me and other Xavierites, and we were on a tour through Collect Tours, and we spent 9 days in Costa del Sol and Madrid. And so if you don't know what Costa del Sol is, it's basically
Costa del Sol.
Costa del Sol. It's basically the coast, the sun coast, as they call it, the coast of Spain. And we were on the Mediterranean Sea. We could look out in the distance and see the mountains of Morocco from where we were. And yes, that's where we were. And We visited several places. So when I break into this voice, you know that I am imitating one of our tour guides. We loved our tour guides. We had three amazing local tour guides for the local tours that we did. One tour guide was with us for a couple of days. Um, and it was just it was beautiful, and I love the juxtaposition of the ancient and the modern, because there are things and sites and places that we saw that were, from the first century, from B650 BC and what have you, and learning the history and more of the history of how the Moors ruled Spain and other areas in Europe. For many, many centuries, and the fights, the wars, basically everything that built these empires are fighting against the Roman Empire and this empire. It all was the Game of Thrones, y'all. It was the seven kingdoms, and one was trying to rule and rule the Iron Throne and bring all the seven kingdoms together. And that's all what happened across the country of Spain. That's pretty much it. If you watch Game of Thrones, you kind of know what happened. That's what I think. Anyway, I know my sister like, she
Let
tired
me
of
tell
hearing.
y'all, I'm so tired of hearing about the Game of Thrones. And listen, I get it. I get it. But
When y'all see some of the pictures, y'all go see House Lannister, because House Lannister was the house that had the gold and had the treasury. And Dorne had all of the beautiful gardens, and they had their wine, and that's what Rhonda was known for, was the wine. I'm telling you, girl, it ain't nothing but the Game of Thrones. Okay, anyway.
okay, I was just trying to write out some of the places that we visited: Malaga, Fuengirola, Ronda, Granada,
Marbella.
Marbella, and then
So one of the
Madrid.
things we learned is that the C sound so is not in their vernacular. So gracias, as we would normally say, is not what they say. Or Barcelona is not what they say, because the C has a TH sound. So it's gracias and Barcelona. Okay? Just let you know. That's what it is. Okay? And I never knew we flew into Malaga. I never heard of
No, yes, I'm sorry. Yes, we did.
we did. We flew into Malaga. And Malaga is the home of Antonio Banderas. If you don't know who Antonio Banderas is, he's an actor. Yes.
All right. I think that's all of them. I might have missed some.
Oh, I think you got them. Yeah. So it's beautiful. The countryside is beautiful. They are a large olive producer as well. So lots of olive trees. And they are known for their Iberia pork. So if
All
you
right. Well,
ever
we're gonna show some of this stuff. So I'm
had,
going to
if you've never heard of the Iberian pork, look it up. They feed those those are like, Iberian pork is like the equivalent of Wagyu beef. So they're like the best bred and fed. They only eat acorns, and
okay.
they
Let me remove this and start with the Iberia pork.
okay.
Then.
And it's so that's what they're known for. And trust me, there was pork everywhere. And at dinner, you can have the suckling pig. So there were lots of suckling pig to offer. So some of y'all don't want to know what the suckling pig is, because that's the baby pig. They just simply.
Okay, here's the image. Sorry that it's not. Let's see here. There we go. So you see this hoof here. That's the way you know you got the good stuff.
Yeah, the hoofs are everywhere. The black hoofs are everywhere, and so everywhere you go, you see that, and they just shave it off, and give it to you fresh, and it's delicious. And one of the young ladies on our tour, so she was like, so is it cooked? And I was like, well, no, it's cured. And you guys can see in the back there, by the words quarter, those are just other legs, those are other shanks that are hanging up there. And she was like, is it good? I was like, no, it's cured. And she was like, so what does that mean? We're like, you pack it in salt, you cure it. That's a way of cooking it. Because she just couldn't understand, like, how is all this pork just sitting out here? And it's just sitting out here and people just buying it and eating it like this. So yes, it's all called charcuterie, and we had a lot of charcutes and riz.
Yes. Okay. Now I'm going to go back to this image so you can.
You tell them about the image, sister.
Okay. So this image is it's the side of a building, right? And so again, as my sister already mentioned, Antonio Banderas is Malaga's like top dog, right? He is the pride of Malaga. And so they have a lot of street art. And this particular image is of rats hanging down and then falling. And I guess they're falling to their death. I don't know. But they thought it was just so amusing, or the tour guide was like, and I'm not going to talk like that later. Never mind. The point is, this building, this portion up under here, this is Antonio Banderas's restaurant. So it was like, I guess the irony of him having a restaurant in the same location as these rats falling off the side of the building. It was very interesting, but they were very, very proud of Antonio Banderas.
It just made me think of the movie Ratatouille, y'all. That's all. I was like, Ratatouille, because the rats has been in the building. I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, sure. All right. Let's see here. So this is one of our favorite pictures, and you can explain what this picture is.
Oh yeah. Yes, that is one of my.
Hold on, I changed it. I didn't mean to do that. Okay. All right, let me try again. Man, me and this sharing screen, we're not doing so well here.
Well, it was a candid moment that was captured by our tour guide, and I guess we were looking in the opposite direction at someone else taking a picture. I don't know, but I love the way it just kind of has us kind of all looking off, and it was just taking a break. We were just taking waiting for everyone to gather. And I just love that image of us just sitting there. We all had our walking shoes on every day. Yes.
We all these ladies are Xavierite sans Christina.
Yes. Well, Christina's gonna be an honorary Xavierite. We're gonna just say it like that.
She is. Okay, I want to talk about this little lady. Hold on. Why is it not opening? Okay. So this very much reminded me of the French Quarter.
Or Hollywood Boulevard.
Or Hollywood Boulevard. Yes, this lady was a performer. If y'all go back to Malaga, please give this lady some money, because she was not happy with all you American tourists. You might have not even been American, but you were taking pictures. Yes, I did take a picture, but
and left €0. Did you leave her €1?
I did not.
But
I wasn't in control of the money. I remember I didn't ever get any money. So I thought you had left her something too. Right?
No, because I know about them street performers. I don't mess with them, because I have seen the fight break out on Hollywood Boulevard in front of what's the Chinese theater?
Chinese theater.
Yes. Remember that man who was the Spider-Man who stabbed that man? Okay. I'm watching them street performers like that, because I know they want their money, they about their business, And I'm gonna let y'all be about y'all business, and I'm gonna stay about my business over here somewhere else. I see y'all. I ain't coming up there and trying to take no picture with you. Okay, that ain't what I'm doing. Nah.
So Fiancarola was where we stayed, the area in which we stayed. And so, yeah, they had this little Aria Libre Fiancarola. So, Aria Libre, I guess is the free area or a park, probably. So, yep, just so y'all know, when we were in
It
Fiancarola.
was a great place to be because the hotel was like steps away from the beach. There were a number of restaurants, some better than others, because like if we just listened to David, we would have been fine. But me and my sister tried to go out and explore on our own one evening to get dinner, and we got the wrong place. Like it was mid, and it was probably the worst dinner that we had while we were there.
Right.
Um, but
But
the
again, the food was really good. Like overall, the food was really
overall the food was fantastic. Everywhere we went, the it was just the tomatoes were in season, like they're in season here. Summertime tomatoes is nothing like a good tomato, avocado, and red onion salad, baby. And that's we had absolutely
all
House
right.
Lannister. If you've ever watched Game of Thrones, you didn't watch Game of, I want you to go to another page
You've
on to
already showed me, sister. I know
okay.
the lion.
It's the
Yes.
exact same logo as House Lannister. This was at the castle in Segovia,
Was
right?
it in Segovia?
That was Segovia, right? Or no,
It could have been, or was it in
no, I think this was Segovia.
Grenada? Okay.
No, Grenada was Alhambra.
Okay. So what about Ronda? Wasn't there a castle? Yes.
No, in Ronda, it was the New Bridge.
Okay.
In Ronda, we had the New Bridge. And Ronda, if you did watch Game of Thrones and you know the gorge where they threw people in, that was Ronda. It had the big gorge and where yeah, so they had to build a new bridge. And honey, every time she was telling us about the new bridge, I was like, okay, what's the new like, so when was this bridge built, girl? 17 something. I said, oh my gosh, this bridge is 500 years old. That the
But it's
new
the new
bridge is
bridge.
500 years old.
Everybody know what they mean when they talk about the new bridge.
New bridge. I was like, oh my gosh, so much, oh, just so much fun.
So here was this is the name of the brotherhood that we saw. The Real Hermandad de all of that.
Yes.
Okay. So just gonna explain really quickly. So
They do Easter like
we
they
have
do
Mardi Gras. We know how
Jesus.
we have Mardi Gras, and we can relate to parades for Mardi Gras. But for Holy Week, these respective brotherhoods get together and they basically carry Mary and Jesus through the streets of their respective cities or townships or whatever provinces, whatever they call them. I can't remember. Um, and when as they do this, they're dressed up. We're going to show you some of the attire. You feel free to let us know what it conjures up for you. But these are massive demonstrations, and they not throwing no food or no candy.
Mm-mm.
There are thousands of people.
Everyone comes out. They bring
Everyone
their
comes
hair.
out
They line the streets.
to see them carry Jesus and Mary. So this was one of the brotherhoods we visited. Now I want you to see the costumes that they parade in. Hold on. Why is it take? Okay, here we go. Now, hold on. It went too fast for me. Let me try that again. Think y'all saw it. Why is it doing that? It won't allow it to just okay. just go back one time more. All right. So hopefully you can see it. I'll just increase. Uh-oh. So you can tell us what it looks like to you. But all jokes aside, we know that this kind of symbolism has been recreated,
Adapted.
adopted in the United States, and it's for different purposes. Certainly not carrying Jesus through the streets during Holy Week. Also, though, very reminiscent of some of the New Orleans costuming for some of their Mardi Gras crews. Just saying. So this is what some of their costuming, and then I'm gonna come back to that. Then this is what they carry. So they were collecting clothes. So don't mind the clothes. Oh, this thing is really bothering me. Okay, don't mind the clothes on the bottom. They were collecting clothes for charity and stuff. But this entire thing, as you can see, it's all these silver pieces, all of this, and has all these candelabras and what have you. This is what Mary is carried on. And then this coffin over here, or this tomb, is what Jesus is carried on. So this is another view of the tomb. Very elaborate. You can see these candles, just massive, massive. And they carried these on their shoulders, basically, or something to that effect, through the streets. And then this is the Mary and Jesus that they carry. So this Jesus lays on top of that slab. They carry it. This is Mary. She has various she has other attire. So this is her attire right now, but not necessarily her attire for the
not her morning attire, because her morning attire is in the black.
Correct. But and then they have all these pictures or what have you around the brotherhood. But I saw this picture, and I don't know. Maybe this is morbid of me. I don't know. But this picture of a crucified Jesus reminded me so much of the image of Malcolm X when he was assassinated. And that's the one thing that just stood out to me. I don't know if others see that, but I did. It reminded me very much of Malcolm X. What else we have? Here is our beverage du jour. This thing is not working right. Our display is not working. Anyway, our agua con gas. That is sparkling water.
Agua con gas.
We didn't learn a lot of words, but we did learn agua con gas.
Yes.
This is Demetria and I. And
now this is in Alhambra, which is in Grenada. So Alhambra, that site was the last stronghold of the Moors in Spain. And so, as they said, as all the cities around them started to fall, and when we say started to fall, so basically, if you remember anything about any of your world history, the Moors are Muslim, and you can see some of the Arabic writing up there. So they did not, when they conquered and took over, they didn't take down it. They just thought that was they used said it was like it was decorative, so they left all of that stuff there. But this was the last stronghold of the Moors, who were Muslims, in Spain. And so as the different cities started to fall and go back into, it's basically the Roman Catholic Church. So basically the Crusades, you all learned about the Crusades in world history. So the Christian Crusades, and they were trying to re-Christian. They were trying to spread Christianity, and so it was war. They fought all the time. That's why I said it's like the Game of Thrones, because it was war after war after war. So where the Moors inhabited the area for over 700 years, so 7 centuries, where they were in rule, they were in war the whole time, because first they went up there and conquered and took over, and then they were fought back to for 500 years. It was like 500 more years of warring back and forward, until the last stronghold that they had, where it was up higher in the mountains in the elevation. And this is the last castle at Alhambra. And it is a beautiful, beautiful, there are beautiful gardens there, beautiful scenery. And it was just fascinating. And I know my sister tired of hearing me say the reference, but they had their throne room and where they met people. This is the castle in Segovia, the Alcazar in Segovia. So the thing about Segovia that was what it's most noted for were the Roman aqueducts. So the water system. And so our little friend Jane was like, so the water without electricity. And we were like, gravity, like gravity, baby. So so the aqueduct system was there, was what really was what was fascinating to see in Segovia, how they got the water down to
And
the.
that's actually the picture that we use for tonight's broadcast. The image that we use is one of the aqueducts that was built in Segovia. And so what I will say is we have hundreds of pictures.
Mhm.
So we just pulled out a few. We have much to share online, and so we'll be sharing those things on our social sites, um, so that you can get an opportunity to see more. Um, it was for me a fascinating blend of the old and the new, and
Mhm.
like you said, historical things, and not like, again, you're reminded that in the grand scheme of things, the United States is hella young, right?
Yes. Yes.
1776, and we're talking about buildings that are still standing that were built in the first century.
Mhm.
So sometimes I think it's important for us to go other places to put things in proper perspective, to see how other people live, to understand things that are important to them, right? One of the things that we we talked about on the trip is and we came to you all on the trip was, like, it doesn't get dark till almost 10 p.m.,
Mhm.
which was really weird for us
Mhm.
to, because you be looking up and it's like, I'm still, getting geared up. The time zone was one thing, but it's the fact that the sun is still out
Yes.
until like 9:30, 10 o'clock. So you're just thinking like, oh, it's still pretty.
And that's the thing. And custom is, and you can see the shift. So where we were is also where a lot of the people from across the country come to vacation, because it's their vacation time as well. And you see the shift in how people the first night we went to dinner, we were like, we went in and the guy was like, oh, will you be done by 9?
And it was 6:30.
Yeah, it was 6:30. 6:30, 7 o'clock. He was like, well, y'all be finished by 9. And we were like, of course we're gonna be finished by 9. Like, what are you talking about? We were like, what's that about? But at 9 p.m., that's when they come out to dinner.
Right.
That's when the people come out, and we saw people and they got dressed to come out to dinner. We saw them whether they were 8 to 80. They got dressed, they came out as families. They had strollers and wheelchairs and walkers. Like everybody came down and came out and went to the various eateries and restaurants for dinner. It was fascinating to see. And they still get dressed, you know, That's like one of the things we noted, like even in South Africa, like no, when they go out, they get dressed. They don't go out like we go out,
Right.
you know. So it's fascinating.
So it
That's
was a wonderful time. We saw a lot of cathedrals. So to be honest, we didn't pull in a lot of those images because we can't remember where they all were. We have to go back and look at our pictures, and I know I need to do a
we have
better
to
job.
reorder them, yeah, in the time frame. Listen, the level of Catholic that they are is a level of Catholic that I thought South Louisiana was Catholic. No, no, y'all ain't Catholic like they Catholic. Because like there would be like 5 cathedrals within a block of each other, like not even. And then there were active, we saw active convents, um active monasteries, and it was like, okay, wait a minute, like they for real about this Catholicism thing over here. And there's a lot of cathedrals, and they're so ornate and detailed and beautiful. And inside the cathedral there are all these little chapels. So that was the whole thing that was meant, because I'm thinking of a chapel like just a chapel, but inside this one um cathedral was probably like 40 chapels inside that cathedral.
Yeah.
It was amazing, and each of them they have their own, you know. We went to the cathedral of the chapel of the Blessed Sacrament. They have all of the different um um the different saints that are recognized. Like it's just fascinating. That's all I can tell y'all. It's just fascinating. And one of the things it reminds me of is that um God gave us a world.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go see it.
Absolutely, sister. Let's go see it. So the Hill sisters have had uh, um, we've been blessed
Mm-hmm.
to be able to go to a few countries together,
Yes.
and we're going to keep
We've
going.
been to 3. Like, no, 2 European, 1 African, Central America, 2 in Central America.
Yeah, we've been to like 5.
I counted more than 5. So 2 Central America.
Well, we can just say, are we talking about the Caribbean and all that? We
No,
can.
I said
We went
Central
to
America.
Belize. We went
Belize,
to
Costa
Costa
Rica.
Rica.
Okay. Then we had and Europe is together,
Right,
Greece
and
and Spain.
Spain,
And then we went to South Africa.
Africa.
Yeah.
Right, that was 5. And
Okay.
then if we're not counting like Jamaica when you got married, that we were there together too, you know. Um, so that would be number 6. So we got a lot more to get to, but
We got a lot more to get to. So y'all come take this ride with us. Cause yeah, we about to go to Europe. We about to go back to Africa, go to Europe again. We're gonna do a few things out here because hey, while tomorrow is not promised, we are living fully in the present. But I'm gonna tell you one thing, we are still planning. So that because we're leaning on God's promises. How about that? So we trying to get some places and do some things and see this world that He blessed us with. Because He blessed us with the whole world. Why not go see it? Okay.
absolutely, absolutely. Well, I dropped a lot of maybe not all of them, but I dropped a lot of the links in the chat here so that you all can go and look it up and learn more about these fabulous places that we explored. And again, just stay
Oh,
tuned.
one more thing I want to say before we close.
Okay.
And I do want to say this, and because I shared this with my friend the other day, you know, one of the most touching moments on that trip was we saw a young Black family with their 3 young children. One was in a stroller and their 2 little girls.
Mhm.
And they were American. They were from, I think, Howard and Spelman, if I remember correctly, their respective alma maters. Or was it Hampton and Morehouse? I can't
I
remember.
think it was Hampton and Morehouse. No,
Either
Howard and Morehouse. No, Hampton and Morehouse.
Hampton
Yeah.
and Morehouse.
Yeah.
Hampton and Morehouse. Yes, not Spelman. Hampton and Morehouse. So HBCU grad. So the gentleman stopped and to us and said, and it was myself, my sister, and a couple of my Xavier classmates, and he said, my daughter said, look, there's some pretty black women like me, or pretty brown women, or something like that.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Black women like me. And that was one of the most touching moments and a reminder of why. So I was just proud of them having their young family on. I don't know if they were there for work. I don't know if they were there for pleasure. I don't know, what, because of course we're everywhere. But for that baby to see us and feel affirmed, because there are not many of us
Right.
walking around with full agency and comfort in many of these places that we go visit that are not refugees or what have you. We were people of our own agency there. And for her to see that, probably a 5 or 6 year old, means the world. And I think that's why I really want to encourage you out. Get out there and go into the places and spaces with your full fabulousness. And because you never know who you're going to make an impression on and how that can change somebody's life. Yeah. Go, sister.
And because you never know who you're gonna see and who you're gonna make an impression on, I'm sorry, don't wear your thermals. Don't wear your underwear. Don't get mad because the people don't allow you to get on the plane because you have on a bathrobe. I don't care if it says Versace on it. Let's not do that. And I know some people will say you shouldn't be shaming this person or what have you. No, this was a perfect example. There are always people watching, and you never know what impact your presence might make. I'm not saying you got to be in a three-piece suit and heels, but you definitely shouldn't be in your underwear calling them shorts.
How about that? Because we know we move the culture and shape the culture all around the globe. But we're going to leave that right there. And with that, we signing off. Good night, everybody. Bye-bye. And in one more minute.
Girl, hang up this.